Hi there and welcome to another Sonic Academy tutorial with me, Phil Johnston. In this one we're going to be taking a look at creating a dub track. Whether you're into dub or dub tech or dubstep, a lot of these sounds that I'm going to be creating will give you that sort of authentic dub vibe to add onto your track. So the first thing we're going to do is just sort of create a basic dub beat, and then I'll start creating a bass line and some stabs and stuff. I'm going to be using drum racks, and I have a bunch of sort of basic live sort of samples here. Some hats, kick, rim shots, the all important timbales. I have recorded some guitars sort of effects, and then some guitar sort of stabs. And also just a G note from my bass. So we'll be putting all these together to sort of create a dub track. So we'll load up our drums first. Just basically grab all the drums, fire them in. One thing that you'll need to do is just go through and turn the velocities up on them all. And this will just mean we can control them in live with our MIDI velocities. And we'll grab these two timbales as well. Do the same with them. We'll go into our editor. We want about 126. And sort of the basis of dub is, try that kick. Some tracks have a 4 on the floor sort of thing going on, but instead of the snare being on every other beat, it's on the downbeat. Maybe try that other kick. It's a bit tighter. And you can lower the volumes of the ones in between. Or alternatively, you could put in sort of, that's the more dubsteppy sort of rhythm. If you want it sort of more classic dub, it's mainly on the beats. So we'll fire in some hi-hats. And we want the sort of skippy pattern, so and then we can go in and adjust some of these volumes so that it sort of sounds a bit more live sounding. And what we can also do is browse our groove library, and we want a sort of nice swing going on here, so we can try a pretty aggressive swing. It's maybe a bit too aggressive. So we can bring our timing down. And we'll maybe bring the overall volume of our hats down a touch. We can also tighten them up, just bring our sustain down. That's pretty cool. And then what we can do is create another MIDI track. And what we're going to use this MIDI track for is feeding into our main dub beat. And the reason we're doing this is because we want to play about with our sort of timbale sounds. So we can select our drum rack as the output, and then select the full drum rack. And it basically means we can jam about using the same sounds in the drum rack, but we're not actually going to be overdubbing on top of the original pattern we've made. And I'll go into drum rack, and I just want to extend the release on the timbale sound. So we can create another wee pattern. Okay, and we can quantize that and then add our groove on top. And the last thing we're going to do on this is add reverb. We're going to use reverberate, and this is a convolution reverb. If you want a bit more information about that, you can check out our understanding reverb tutorial. It has all this sort of information about different types of reverbs. And the IRs that I'm going to be using for this, they're freely downloadable online. I'll show you the website in a wee second. And if I can find them here, my samples folder. So these are King Tubby IRs. So we'll do a quick search. So here they are on Dubism forum, and there's an absolute bunch of sort of spring reverb, dub style reverb stuff, and this is what's really going to give us the sort of vibe of our track. So we'll go in and we'll try the first one. What we do is select, got two different types of spring reverb, one on the left channel, one on the right, and we just select one of those for each of the IR engines. Then we can go into our mixer and pan left and right, and we'll turn our dry and wet up fill, and that gives us a stereo reverb, and we're just having the wet signal. And then we can go into our drum racks, and we will create a return chain. So right click in the return area, and then select our reverberate track, and this links our drum racks up to our returns here, and it means in the drum racks mixer we can actually go in and adjust the settings for the reverb. So you can hear that very distinctive spring reverb sound, and you can play about. There's a whole bunch of different samples. One thing I'm just going to do is just add a bit of EQ, just to take out some of the muddiness in the bottom end. So fire on an EQ 8. And for good measure, we'll stick a compressor over the top of the drums, and this will just help to gel everything together. I'm going to have the attack right down. And there we go, there's a sort of basic dub beat. And it'll all start to come together when we add some of the other sounds in. So in the next video, we're going to create our dub bass.